Okay, so if you're watching this, I'm assuming you came from the yin video that I made earlier. And as you can see from the title, this is the yang energy. So the masculine energy. I did stay up all night, so yeah, we're on video 3. And like I said in the first one I made today, I'm making 50 videos. That's the goal. But I only have, I think, like 5 videos and notes. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is the yang. So I didn't look over these notes before I started this video, so hopefully I don't get too distracted. I do have ADD, not recent. I've always had ADD, and I've always refused medication for it. So I have my coffee right there. I have my notes, and so let's go. So okay, so the yang energy, which is masculine, and we're talking about yin and yang because we're also gonna. It's important in general. Just if we talk about this alone, it's important. But later on, we're gonna be tying it into Chinese astrology, and part of Chinese astrology is yin and yang energy. So I decided to make a separate video for those. So this is the 3 parts. I made the feminine, the masculine, and then I'm gonna do them together in the next video. So yang energy, what does it rhyme with? It rhymes with tang, right? That's the first word that came to mind when I thought yang, right? So there's only a change in the first letter, and then A and G. So I looked up what does tang mean. It means sour, right? So that's more masculine energy, probably. Who knows? Sour, right? And then for women, it was sweet. So sweet and sour. And it's more outward energy, right? So masculine energy has to do with the daytime. Yang energy has to do with the daytime. In the daytime, we're doing things, right? We're like mowing our lawns. Most people work, if they have a job, in the daytime, unless you work like the night shift or something, right? Um, and so we're like outside. Usually, it's more outward energy. So we're usually outside during the daytime. At night, we're usually more inside. Unless it's like the weekend and you decide to go out and party or have like a bonfire or something, but it's usually daytime activities, being outside. Um, so what else is yang energy? So it's fast, it's active, um, and masculine, muscle. So there's the M, and then masculine is like MASCU. Muscle is MUSCLE. So it's very similar, the words there. And yeah, so masculine energy does have to do with self care as well, like feminine. But for masculine energy, it's more like doing things, right? Like with feminine, it was more relaxing and stuff like that, like being relaxed. That was more that, and then masculine is more like doing. So a masculine version, whether you're man or woman, a masculine version of self-care usually is done in the daytime. Usually it's more active and it's usually more fast, right? You're not well, let's just stick to the masculine energy. So certain ways of like doing self-care in a masculine way is being outside, daytime energy. What's an example of that? Like fishing, right? You could be fishing is usually normally, not always, done in the daytime and the sun's out. Another example is working out. So going to the gym, lifting weights, like all that is a masculine way of self-care. But it's for everyone, just like the yin video, right? So you can watch that. What else is associated with yang energy? It's warm, right? A man who's masculine is usually a warm man, right? And they're usually more bright. They're more positive, right? When, like, an example I gave before to another man was like, um, when you're like at a funeral, it's a sad thing usually, and usually, you'll see there'll be like at least one guy who's like trying to make jokes and lighten up the mood, even if, because the mood is just so down. It's so feminine. It's so like, everyone wears black. That's associated with feminine energy more than masculine. Um, and yeah. And you'll usually find a guy trying to make jokes, just lightening up the mood, trying to be positive, right? Doesn't always have to be a man, but it's like more masculine energy. And they're usually more, a masculine man is more like expansive, right? They're more likely to like go out into the world and get it and then come home and like, um, give to the woman and make sure she's safe and protected. And he's out there being active in the daytime, right? When there's all this activity going on, a lot of fast movement. So yeah. So a masculine man is more likely to like care, show that they care through action, and they may also like attention, right? That may be more of a masculine thing, liking attention. So a woman who well, we'll get to that, I think. But yeah, a woman who, I don't have it in the notes, so I'll just say it now. But I have the list here when a woman is too masculine, but I didn't write it down, I guess. But when a woman is too masculine, she may like attention too much. She may want all the homeboys and put action towards that, right? A woman is normally more cool, more receptive, letting people come to them. But a masculine woman, or a woman who's too masculine, she may want too much attention, right? Not just from you. She may actually be DMing people and like going after people to date them. That's a woman who's too masculine. That's how you'll know. But I have a list that we'll go through at the end of the video. So, so for the feminine, I had feline. And then for the masculine, here I have written canine, right? Because masculine energy is normally associated with dogs. So another word for dogs is canine. And dogs love attention. And they're more likely to like physical touch than cats, right? So if you know, you know. So howling, aka singing, is probably more of a masculine thing. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. So Ca is the 20th element in the periodic table. So science. And what element is it? It's calcium. So calcium is usually associated with our bones, right? So the Latin word for Ca is around, it's approximately, it's not exact. That could be a clue for something. So bones and structure, it's a mineral that helps build and maintain strong bones. So usually a man who's more masculine or looks more masculine looks like he has like strong bones, right? Like they usually have like the shoulders, like our shoulders can be pretty bony, right? So they usually have like broad shoulders, big muscles, just things that look like really well structured. So it's the most abundant mineral in the body, um, and the majority of it is stored in our teeth and our bones. Calcium prevents blood clots. Okay, so that's a clue for something. And vitamin D is vital for calcium absorption. So, vitamin D, that's usually associated with men too. If you know, you know. It's also associated with leafy greens. And and it helps our muscles move. And it carries messages between the brain and every part of the body, so it has to do with communication. So a man who's healthy in his masculine communicates. If a man isn't, he probably isn't communicating that clearly, right? So a man who's healthy in his masculine communicates with you, right? Um, yeah. And so what happens if we're low on calcium? And next we're going to get into what happens if a woman is too masculine. So let's do this part first. If we as humans, men and women, are low on calcium, what happens? We get dry, scaly skin, brittle nails, and coarse hair. Our muscles can cramp and there can be issues with our muscles. You may get seizures if you're too low on masculine energy, but I do believe that if you or someone else is dealing with any of these things, it may not just be that, or it may not be that at all. Okay, but it's something that happens often. But just because you're dealing with these things doesn't mean it's because you're low on masculine energy, but it could be something to look at. So if you're low on masculine energy, you may also be dealing with irritability, anxiety, and depression, right? And ways to combat this is to do something. So if you're dealing with anxiety, what are you having anxiety about? Do something, right? If you have depression, what are you depressed about? Do something. If you're feeling irritable, maybe you're just being you're being in a place for too long. It's causing irritability. Do something, right? So if you're dealing with these things, doing is masculine energy, and just being in this anxiety state, just being in this depression, being in this irritability state and not doing anything about it, that's too feminine. That may mean that you're being too feminine in those moments. It may mean that. It doesn't have to mean that, but it could be something to look at. If you're low on calcium, it could also mean that you may be having some dental problems because it has to do with our teeth. It weakens our bones, so you may be likely to have fractures, right? A lot of people believe that, energetic things and physical things do have to do with each other. So calcium is a physical thing. It's an element. But, these are energetic things. These are like mental things, or physical things. If you're low on calcium, you may be dealing with confusion and memory loss, right? Because it helps us with the communication with our mind and our body. and there may be a weakness there. Another one is abnormal heartbeats. Calcium is vital for heart function. So that's that. If you're low on calcium, it may mean these things. And what happens when a woman is too masculine? If a woman is too masculine, she's doing too much, right? She may be doing too much in any way, maybe doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, going to work, making sure she's all done up, taking care of everything. Like, that may be being too masculine. If a woman is too masculine, she might be someone who like cares too much and gives too much and says too much, right? So she's like overly communicative about, the way she feels. She may be too giving, like she pays for everything, or like, giving money, going out and working, coming home, paying for things, and she may care too much. You know what I mean? Another way you can tell if a woman is too masculine is if she's more salty and less sweet. So when a man and a woman are in a relationship and she's being salty, there may be a dynamic there that's not the most harmonious. So next we're going to get into the yin and yang, feminine and masculine energy paired together. So hope you guys like this video. I don't know if I did as good with this video as I did with the yin, but hopefully I did. But I don't feel like there's anything else to say. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully I did good in this video. And let's get on to the next.